YOLO, and welcome to episode 1 of Pokemon Fire Red Hardcore Nuzlocke. This is the first hardcore Nuzlocke I've ever done, and I figured, why not record it, and see all the ups and downs, the highs and lows. But here's a list of the basic rules for the rundown on how it's going to work. Starting off, number 1. If a Pokemon faints, it's dead. I don't have to worry about that. I've been playing Pokemon for 20 years, it's a children's game. There's no way anyone's going to die unless it's to some dumb crit.
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
I'm in danger!
2. Only the first encounter each route I get to keep. There are a couple of exceptions. 1, if it's a shiny Pokemon, I think it's 1 in 8,000 something chances of getting a shiny, I get to keep it no matter what. Or if it's the same type of Pokemon in the evolutionary line, the species. 3, I have to nickname every Pokemon. 4, no items in battle, so I can't just spam healing items while the enemy dies of toxic. No overleveling, set mode for battles only, and of course, no legendaries. And we're off. As with most Pokemon games, it starts you off with a brief explanation of the world of Pokemon from a professor who does basically nothing the whole game. He then asks us one of the most controversial questions in the last few years. If we're a boy or a girl. I'm a guy, and I tell him my name. After that, we have the fun part. We get to name our rival. Oh, they made a mistake allowing me to name my own rival. I have one true enemy, and I will name my rival after my one greatest enemy, the IRS.
I don't care who the IRS sends, I am not paying taxes.
And just like that, our adventure begins. Now, I remember to go and grab the potion that's in the computer.
That's a surprise tool that can help us later.
Withdraw it because we are a single child from a single mother home, so we need every little bit of help we can get. I make my way towards the tall grass, and then Professor Oak comes and starts blathering on about how it's not safe out there or something. After dragging me into his office, or his laboratory, he then starts yapping about the world of Pokemon and offers me and his grandson, the IRS, a Pokemon. I look him over, and of course there's only one correct answer. For a Nuzlocke, you have to go with Bulbasaur. Super effective against the first 2 gyms, and has access to Leech Seed for passive healing in the background. I name Bulbasaur 420. He will become my companion through this adventure, and we will wage war on all who stand in our path. Speaking of which, the IRS immediately decides they want to run our pockets. And of course, like an absolute chump, they go with the super effective option that beats Bulbasaur, Charmander. But at level 5, it's really anyone's game. And now here's a good point to make. The Nuzlocke portion of this game doesn't start until I actually get Pokeballs. So if I die in this first battle, it's not really death. It's more like a dream episode, if anything. And yet, I don't even need it because I win, level up, get 69 experience.
Nice.
And now I have to go and run basic errands for Professor Oak. I gotta go up to the next town, grab a parcel at the Pokemon Center, and then come back. I remembered this time during this playthrough to go to the house over here, talk to the chick, and get the map. However, I forgot that you have to go do the town bit first before you get the map, so that kinda sucked. And then I paused the game at this point and then changed it to where I'd be playing on 2 times speed. So hopefully everything from this point onwards will be a little bit faster, snappier in the background. Now I start making my way to the next town. I get into a little scuffle with a rat, but I'm twice his level, so it's not really going to be a problem. He's just some easy XP. However, I still have not gotten access to the Pokeballs yet, so even if I were to die now, it wouldn't kill me. So I'm going to go ahead and save, override the old save file that is not important, pop into the hospital for some free health care. Thank you very much. Being a child, I don't have to pay taxes, so it's 100% free for me. Go to the store, pick up his item. Apparently they allow children to just pick things up. I run all the way back to his lab. Nearly called it a workshop there. Caught myself. Have Christmas on the brain. Start talking to the guy. He tells me all about his great invention, the Pokedex, something he's worked on for years. He gives me and the IRS one. My Pokedex is completely empty. I guess he spent all those years taking the government grants, pocketing the money, and then now requires children to fill the thing out for him. But at this point, we do finally get our Pokeballs, so the adventure officially begins. From this moment onwards, any deaths that happen are permanent. So I immediately run to the next town, blitzing my way through the grass. I have 5 Pokeballs, and my first Pokemon that I run into
Who's that Pokémon?
is a Pidgey. I catch it with no problem, and then I decide to name it Chicken. I was going to put Chicken Nuggets, but there wasn't enough room for it, so I decided we'll keep it simple, we'll just go with Chicken. Now that I have successfully secured my second Pokemon, valued member of this team, Chicken, I decide it's probably best to run back home and heal up real quick. That way I don't die to any random critical hits. Chicken is only level 3 after all. He gets into his first ever fight on his own, or I should say her own, as Chicken is a girl. And she fights another wild chicken. It's a chick fight for sure, and my chick, way better than the other chick. Feeling a little overconfident and cocky from winning my first battle, I send Chicken out against this wild rat, who then promptly makes me regret that decision by killing my chicken. I was at low health, so that was a 100% my bad. Oops, I'm sorry, Chicken. It was, how shall we say, a one-time thing that will never happen again. If you're picking up that sarcasm I'm putting down, it's because I made one of the worst rookie mistakes later on, but we'll get to that. First, let's go ahead and focus on where we're actually at. So now I go through the painstaking process of turning one of the boxes in the PC into a graveyard. My intentions were to have it be a very lonely graveyard with only one Pokemon in there. I run, I get my 420 healed up, I make sure to go over to the Pokemart so I can buy antidotes. In this game, poison does damage every 3 steps in the overworld, or 4 steps. Either 3 or 4 steps that you walk around in the overworld, your Pokemon will take damage until they eventually pass out and die. I talk to this old dude who teaches me how to catch a Weedle. Then I run up north to Route 2 to add our next party member, a Rattata. Now, I had a bad experience with the Rattata not but a few minutes ago, so I know that they are dangerous. I can add one to my team. I go with a Leech Seed to slowly drain its health over time and keep me alive. That way I can just sit there and spam Pokeballs. Eventually one of them catches it. I decide to name him Lil Chef, in honor of the rat from Ratatouille, Remy. Anyone can cook. But now, I have a problem. Lil Chef is only level 3. He has the Guts ability, which is really good, so I need to train him up, because he's going to become a phenomenal member of my team. So I zip back, take advantage of the free healthcare, and now I'm going to do something called IV training. In Pokemon, there are these 2 hidden values that determine how strong your Pokemon actually is. EVs and IVs. EVs are effort value, and IVs are individual value. Your IVs are what you're born with, your genes. They determine how strong you can possibly be. But your EVs, your effort values, those are points you get from defeating certain Pokemon. Now, Pidgeys and Rattatas both give speed EVs. Every 4 speed EVs you collect, you get to increase your speed stat by 1. So, by fighting 4 either Pidgeys and or Rattatas, my Pokemon will get 1 point faster. If I fight 8 of them, 2 points faster. 12 of them, 3 points faster, and so on and so forth. It's basic mathematics. You can get a total of, I think it's 255 EVs, and so divided by 4, I don't even remember how many that is, but I'm not going to sit here and spam 255 battles. But what I will do is I'll just continuously fight these guys until I can get up to maybe around level 6 or 7 with Lil Chef. He'll be faster than most other Pokemon. Speed is going to be the name of the game, especially because 420 is going to get access to Sleep Powder and Poison Powder. So if we can get early game Sleep Powders off, it's going to make our lives so much easier. Now I'm going to save you the hassle of having to watch me run through battle after battle after battle and run back to heal. So I'll just do a couple of quick cuts to show you that I did fight after fight after fight after fight and so on and so forth. It was intense to say the least. I put Lil Chef through the gauntlet of hell, which is early game Route 1. He has slaughtered so many rats and Pidgeys that Little Chef has become the fastest rodent known to man. With Little Chef all trained up, we head over to the west, towards the route toward Victory Road, and find a Mankey. Now this is going to be very useful Pokemon, because of one major thing. He is super effective against the first gym. Now we already have 420 who's super effective, but you can never have too many aces in your pocket when you go to do a gym fight. Now I've done some regular Nuzlocks before, but never a hardcore Nuzlocke. So I'm not taking any chances. And with what happened to Chicken earlier, I would rather be safe than sorry. So that means we have to train up our new friend, Mr. Punch. Again, and again, and again. Yeah, you get the idea at this point. I'm playing it hyper safe. I don't want to risk anything, so I'm running back to the hospital, back out to the woods. Back to the hospital, back out to the woods. Fighting over and over. Eventually, we get to a comfortable enough level that I feel that we can go ahead and push forward and start heading into the forest. Now into the Viridian Forest. There are 3 main encounters you can get here. Something from the Beedrill line, something from the Caterpie line, and there is a small chance, I think it's 5% chance, to get a Pikachu. We got Caterpie, which was a little bit of a letdown because I had really wanted Weedle to have access to early game Poison Sting, but also because everybody knows that's Big Dick P, mainly for the memes and the lulz. However, I decided you can't look a gift Caterpie in the mouth. So I decided I was just going to do the Leech Seed stall strat to lower it down. That way I could safely catch it without having to risk anything. I am 3 levels higher, but I'd rather play it safe than sorry. After we caught our new Caterpie, we named it Bugger. And then we ran into a slight, slap to the face when we found a Kakuna, because I much rather would have had a Beedrill at the end. But it's fine. However, we had a new problem. Bugger was only level 5, so we had to do switch training over and over and over. You kind of get the idea. Everything went pretty smoothly, no real close calls, and then we evolved into a beautiful Metapod. And Metapod then had something very important he wanted to tell me.
Stay hard! Stay hard! Stay hard!
After that motivational speech from my new Metapod, I knew it was time to move on. We scurry back to town, heal up real quick, and then make our way back into the forest, where we get into our first fight. I figured Bugger is strong enough to handle his own, and then immediately get reminded how tedious these early game fights are. So I pull out an epic strat called I throw in 420, he does the fight, we move on to the next one. Strategy here, I go out, I throw out 420, he does the fight, we move on to the next one. Now, you may find this hard to believe, but the strategy I implement on this third battle is baffling. I start the fight, I throw out 420, he does all the fighting, and we move on to the next one. Easy peasy pudding and pie. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We get attacked by a random Caterpie, but it's not even worth our time, so we skit-scat-skadoodle on out of there. And then we get into the most epic fight I've had up to this point. It seems like any normal fight until we get the Metapod versus Metapod moment.
ディオほう向かってくるのか逃げずにこのディオに近づいてくる近づかなきゃてめえをぶちのめせないんでな
It seems our Metapods knew each other. Or at least when they were Caterpies, they knew each other and they had developed some sort of blood feud. The battle was intense. I would harden. They would harden. I would harden. They were hardened. We were getting so hard. We were hard maxing. Maximum levels of hardness were reached. But, thankfully, the Leech Seed that 420 was able to pop off at the beginning ensured that we were able to defeat this imposter, this lesser version, this undesirable. Then we had to fight another Caterpie. So it was much less exciting there. But taking out that false, that imposter, that no-good doppelganger, it was so satisfying. We immediately go and lay a quick beat down on the Caterpie, and then we have another Metapod. And it starts to harden, and I realize this is going to get very tedious. So what do? I throw out 420, and he lays the beat down, and we win the fight. Easy peasy. After that, it's just one last fight, 420 easily wins it, and we make our way over to the hospital. While in the hospital, we casually mention to Nurse Joy that we're going to go fight Brock and take on his Onyx. As soon as we say that, the Jigglypuff in the top left corner of the screen seems to have a post-traumatic meltdown.
7, 6, 11, 5, 9 and 20 miles today, 4, 11, 17, 32 the day before. Boost, 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 moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. Don't look at what's in front of you. Boost, 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 moving up and down again. Men go mad with watching them. There's no discharge in the war. If your eyes drop, they will get the top of you. Boost, 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 moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. Try to think of something different.
Jigglypuff, are you alright? Okay, hey, it's okay. Easy. All I said was Onyx. Well, it's not that bad. However, it was that bad. Jigglypuff begged me not to go. She told me the level cap was 14. I convinced her I'd go to the Pokemart and buy some basic stuff, but then I'm gonna go and take Brock on. I have 2 super effective Pokemon. I just went through, completely whooped the entire forest. What could possibly go wrong? She didn't like that. She warned me, talked ominously about how his Onyx was unlike any other Onyx. Those words played in my mind as I stepped into his building. The first of his guards, which is the only guard, threw out a level 10 Geodude, which should have been a warning. It's 4 levels higher than Mr. Punch, but I'm super effective. And being super effective, that means I'm obviously going to win. I'm the chosen one. I'm the chosen one, Anakin! But, alas, it should have been a warning. A level 11 Sandshrew came out next. A few low kicks got him into a decent range, but I knew to swap to 420. I didn't want to be too cocky with those ominous warnings from Jigglypuff earlier. I defeated him, and at this point, I should have gone back. I should have trained. I at least went back and healed. But I didn't go and level up. I felt confident, cocky, and arrogant. And like Icarus, I decided to fly too close to the sun. I marched myself back into the gym, confronted Brock, and began what was the bloodbath battle. He threw out his level 12 Geodude. I came out with Mr. Punch, leading out strong, low kick after low kick. Defense curl, who cares? Low kick, okay, maybe I overreacted, easy peasy. I'm at a little about half health now. I level up, Onyx comes out. Takes a tackle, I low kick, I go for another low kick. And get crit. That was my mistake. And now the blood begins. I panic and throw out Little Chef. Purely not thinking. Chaos. Fear. And I lose Little Chef. A double loss. Completely preventable when I could have just swapped into 420 and won the battle. If only I had heeded the warnings of the Jigglypuff. But I didn't. I flew too close to the sun, and my wings were made of wax. It was with a heavy heart that I left Brock's gym. The leering face of his Onyx still burned into my mind. I made my way over to the Pokemon Center to deposit my dead. Goodbye, my friends, Mr. Punch, and Lil Chef. And that is how my first episode of my first ever hardcore Nuzlocke went. What do you think? How badly did I do? I definitely had a lot more deaths than I was expecting. I came into this way too confident, way too cocky, and I did not heed the warnings of the Jigglypuff. A tragic mistake which I will never make again. Well, you don't know what happens in the second episode. I do. It's, well, I'm not going to spoil anything. But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't expect the next episode out anytime soon. These are editing intensive, to say the least. But I appreciate you guys for watching. And as always, I'll catch you on the flip side.